God is the mind in which I think. This is such a powerful lesson to really grasp what this is all about. I mean, it definitely sets apart a whole lot of experience. I mean, what in the crap? My mind? God is the mind with which I think. It's so crazy how addicted we are to the world and the ideas of the world, and insisting that we have to conform more so to society's perspective. And it's confusing even when I'm talking about it, and society and the world, as if it's a separate thing and you came into it, right? And then you had to learn of it. That's what the idea of this world involves. But really, we want to actually recognize here that, remember, in fact, and it sounds a little crazy, but the world came along with you. Now, you didn't begin at birth, just like the world didn't, right? And it gets a little interesting, but to recognize that everything kind of all started at the same time, and that's including you. But you did not start at birth. So it gets a little interesting, because as we're attempting to find those thoughts that are down in there deep, some people find it helpful to describe it, or they've told me that how I describe it is helpful, that we have this craziness of our thoughts right on the surface, typically and usually words. They're going, hey man, we got to do this and this and that, and then I got to make sure I got to do this, and crazy monkey mind, they call it, and then blah, 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 real fast. And then we have kind of a presence of a knowing in the back. There's kind of a presence that is more like, and then there's down deeper is a presence that, in fact, the whole existence of your life is like literally one thought, one presence of the thought, and it's more like. Turn to my feedback protection. So it's just a continuous, it's like a presence of something that doesn't change. Now this of course falls short. Don't take this 100%, but it is helpful in kind of grasping and understanding the presence in which you're going into. So you got the crazy monkey mind on top, then you got somewhat of a subconscious mind that's thinking in the background, and then you got there might be a few other layers, but then you get to this sense of some even say it's Om, and the voice in which began the whole thing, and you can very well get down to quite literally the original thought in which you've thought with God, as this so discusses in this specific lesson. And as much as my real thoughts are in my mind, I would like to find them. And we got to understand that if let's just think of it this way. You have God completely supporting every last little thing you decide to do. Every last little thing, regardless of what it is. Everything is supported with the entirety of the universe in which it is, right? And it's putting more than 1,000% into it, 100% into it, of more than you are putting into it. And it makes it real, okay? It makes it real, okay? Literally. And so in this fashion, that if you are not thinking in correspondence to, say, miracles, you're thinking more so in correspondence to the physical world and confines in which you feel, it makes it real, okay? It makes it real, like a fact to you, okay? So recognize and remember that if you are choosing to discover these thoughts, and you actually choose to discover these thoughts, it makes it real to you, okay? It makes it real, regardless if it's real or not, which it actually is, but you can achieve it because of what it does for you. Now, if you can't achieve it, if you think you're blocked somehow, you're really just distracted, you actually just don't want to, you're more likely afraid of it, and all of these are choices to make that real to you. The reason you're afraid, it's going to make it real to you. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to have every excuse. If you want to run away from this book because it's the devil's work, it's going to make it real to you, okay? That's kind of the principles here. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want to find the truth and you want to find answers, it's the only thing that will make it real to actually bring you to the actual truth. It's like you have to discover this principle because we think of opposition. We're stuck in and obsessed with opposition. And so we don't realize that every time we think of the good things, we make it real. Every time we think of the bad things, we make it real. It naturally makes it real. It becomes real and becomes fact to us, okay? So if you're stuck in opposition, it's because you're actually obsessed. And your mind is wandering from one to the other, to one to the other. You're indecisive and torn between two different directions. Only one actually exists, and that's why this principle makes it real, regardless of what it is. It makes it real. So the truth of it is more so in the basis, as far as in this subject concerning, it's the making it real. It's not about the good being the truth or the bad being the truth. It's the fact that whatever you believe becomes your reality, right? Okay, so if we understand that, and the whole reason that's even possible is because quite literally, what we share our mind with. There's that statement at the end, stand aside, however briefly, from all thoughts that are unworthy of him whose host you are. Now, you can believe this or not, because if you don't believe it, he's going to make it real. It's still true. Because you are literally the host, say, in this development of this world, as we are currently in this presence, in this place, whatever it might be, is because you are the host of God. You are literally the host of God, the host of the entirety of the universe. That you have the authority to make anything real. Do you understand? So recognize that through this, say, if you want and you are choosing to actually discover who you are, the truth of who you are, it doesn't matter the thoughts are all made real. The bodies, it's not about the bodies, because all the bodies is made real. It's not about the beliefs, it's not, because those are just made real. You see what I'm saying? It's all seemingly real, but there's still that presence of what is making it real, is the actual real. It is what is actually real, right there. And it's always present. From the beginning of all existence, before the Big Bang was made real. Yes, the Big Bang. Even saying something like that seems contradictory to this creation idea, and yet it's the same thing in which is made real. Just like evolution and dinosaurs, it's all the same thing that's made real because you believe in it. Oh man, I'm getting a headache from this. And that's made real. So throughout this whole course, and we've gotten into it in previous lessons, you have to actually want to achieve this because it's made real, right? You actually have to want to discover this. You have to get all on board completely make up your mind that you want this to be done. You want to find this truth. Or else it's not going to happen. Because if you don't want to, whatever you do want to do will be made real to distract you.